Hello everyone, this is Yoko. In this channel, I will share information in English that I have gathered on events happening in China, as they might not be well known in other countries. I receive information from various media sources, and I would appreciate your comments on the content of the videos. If you find them interesting, please consider subscribing to the channel and supporting us. Now, let's talk about China's unemployment issue. As mentioned in a previous video, the unemployment rate in China has significantly increased, especially among young people. The Chinese authorities have even halted the announcement of the unemployment rate. The Jinping administration faced criticism while attempting to improve the unemployment rate. They used to announce the rate every month, but refrained from doing so when the numbers were unfavorable, fearing increased criticism directed at Jinping. If they were to report an improvement in the unemployment rate, there could be a potential outcry from people actually facing difficulties, spreading false information. To avoid making the unemployment rate a topic of discussion, they decided to stop the announcements. The issue of youth unemployment is a significant concern for many and has gained attention. However, it's not only the youth facing challenges in China. Even those previously employed have become unemployed due to company bankruptcies or large-scale layoffs. This situation is not limited to the youth. Considering lockdowns and economic slowdowns due to the zero-COVID policy, many businesses, especially those dependent on customers, have been severely affected. Moreover, the pre-existing issue of the real estate bubble in China, discussed before COVID, has accelerated due to the pandemic. Consequently, it is expected that the Chinese economy will enter a prolonged period of downturn. In this context, there is an interesting phenomenon in China, the topic of pretending to go to work. In certain Starbucks stores, many middle-aged men and women who lost their jobs can be found. Despite being unemployed and searching for the next job, they feel uncomfortable staying at home all the time. To alleviate this discomfort, they pretend to go to work by bringing laptops to Starbucks, spending time there, and, in some cases, charging their devices for free without buying coffee. Starbucks provides an effective air-conditioned environment, allowing people to stay comfortably for extended periods. However, this phenomenon is not limited to Starbucks. In the past, individuals would spend time in air-conditioned McDonald's during hot summers. People pretending to commute also visit libraries, where they can use air conditioning for free without spending money. Chinese libraries seem to have become gathering places for the unemployed. What's intriguing is that those pretending to commute share common characteristics. They are not necessarily young, they are individuals who are already married, have children, and bear the burden of housing loans. When these individuals lose their jobs, it can be challenging to convey this to their families. In a society where dual-income households are common, losing one job can have a significant impact, especially with high housing loan obligations. Therefore, admitting unemployment is difficult for these individuals. They take various measures to avoid questions and maintain appearances, such as pretending to commute every day. Searching for jobs online has become challenging not only for the youth but also for those who have already established their careers. Online posts from those who pretended to commute reveal the psychological stress these individuals face. In China, communication with parents remains close even after marriage. However, it becomes difficult to discuss job loss with parents in the case of unemployment. In such situations, various lies accumulate in conversations, becoming a burden. Eventually, people stop answering calls, and parents, worried, start calling more frequently. Individuals may send short messages like in a meeting each time, but this becomes a psychological strain. Some find it extremely challenging to continue providing such excuses. Ideally, being honest about unemployment from the beginning is the best approach. However, attempting to deceive initially can lead to prolonged difficulties. Yet, this issue is not something that can be resolved at the individual level. It involves broader systemic problems related to how the government manages the economy and the overall structure of the country. Recently, discussions about China's economy have been shifting. A Chinese economist suggested waiting to buy stocks in the Chinese stock market until there are improvements in the institutional framework. However, this economist is reportedly facing pressure, with some of their social media accounts no longer being updated. In a more detailed explanation, the existence of a joint stock company should ideally function as one system for distributing wealth among many people. Essentially, when employees buy stocks in the company, they become, in a sense, owners of the company. While this ownership right may be relatively minor, individuals can receive dividends from the company's profits if it performs well. Therefore, a joint stock company serves as a system that contributes to the widespread distribution of wealth. However, in China, even for listed companies, family-controlled businesses are prevalent. In many cases, a single family controls over half of the company's shares. This lack of diversification is significant. Additionally, in China, the mechanism of joint stock companies has become a system that essentially extracts money from information-vulnerable individuals. This is because, on the management side, they have extensive knowledge of the company's information and can use it for insider trading without proper supervision. Furthermore, the professor notes that there is inadequate oversight in China, similar to the audit function of joint stock companies in Japan. Without proper regulation, individuals who buy shares in joint stock companies become vulnerable to exploitation. The professor emphasizes that these aspects need improvement for the system to function effectively. In China, there is, so to speak, a mechanism for this. In Japanese terms, there are individuals with regulatory roles, somewhat akin to independent directors. However, in Japan, these individuals are selected by the board of directors, which is determined by the shareholders. If a single family monopolizes the majority of shares, they can appoint individuals favorable to them as regulatory directors. In reality, this is how it currently works in China. The structure of Chinese corporations enables business owners to extract money from the general public. This systemic issue calls for institutional reform, and the situation in China is particularly severe. When individuals speak out, advocating for institutional reforms, they face pressure. Emphasizing the necessity of an appropriate institutional framework to nurture the stock market, they present a logical idea. However, the reality is that many individuals who prefer the existing situation resist unnecessary changes. The speaker also stressed that corporate executives should focus on their core business rather than attempting to profit by manipulating stock prices. This mindset is crucial for economic development. However, in a system where the exploitation of mechanisms for quick gains is prevalent, there is resistance to such ideas. Voices expressing these opinions are commonly suppressed in China. To address the issues and promote economic growth, proper institutions are necessary. Unfortunately, such voices are often silenced, revealing a tendency among those with power and wealth to maintain the current exploitative system. While similar problems exist in other countries, some point out that the situation in China is particularly severe. The Chinese government seems content with the status quo, responding to criticism or proposed changes with censorship. Therefore, while individual responsibility may play a role in some aspects of unemployment, the deeper issue lies in the governance by the Communist Party, raising concerns about economic development and the welfare of the people. That concludes our discussion for today. Until next time.